Welcome to Season 9 of A Little Birdie Told Me. I'm your host, Rebecca Horan, and on episode 6, I'm talking to Sinead Kavanagh, also known as The Beaut Truth on Instagram. Sinead opens up to me about her health battles in the past, why she started her Instagram page, and her hopes for the future. To all my gorgeous listeners, because every parent deserves peace of mind, I'm thrilled to share that this episode is brought to you in partnership with Aptamil Follow-On Milk, the #1 follow-on milk brand in Ireland. Aptamil Follow-On Milk is a product you can trust. It's specially designed to support babies' growth and development as it contains calcium and vitamin D, which contributes to the normal growth and development of bone. With over 50 years of dedicated breast milk research, Aptamil Follow-On Milk brings science and care together to support your baby's journey. Aptamil Follow-On Milk, your life, our science. Important notice, breastfeeding is best. Follow-on milk should be used as part of a mixed diet from 6 months. Please speak to a healthcare professional for advice. To verify number 1, contact the Aptamil care line. So I was connected to this woman via a friend, and I'm so glad that she connected me, because then I was like on her Instagram page and the scrolling began. Like, this woman has created so much content, but is really authentic with it, is a mother, is a wife, but is a doer, is also a teacher. So welcome to the podcast, Sinead Kavanagh, The Beaut Truth, as she's also known on Instagram. You're so welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
I'm
really excited.
I'm thrilled to talk to you. Anyone that I've kind of gone, God, how did I not know about this woman? They're like, she's a gem.
Oh.
But you have a story, you have a bit of an arc. Like, I guess I was like, she's a content creator and a teacher, and that's her career, and we'll talk about being a mum. But you've just even spoken to me there quite openly about, it's been a flipping journey for the last 12 years. Mm-hmm. I think we're all glad to be in 2026. Sometimes years, it's really important to shed them, but you in particular have had like a bizarre decade.
I have,
Do you want to go back to that, or do you want to talk about latter years? I know you were saying even recently you've gone through a lot, but like, let's go back to 2013.
Yeah, so I suppose it's where the beautiful truth, or the Beaut Truth, all began. 2013, I had been sick for 18 months previous. Nobody could understand what was wrong with me, to the point that the doctor offered me antidepressants because they thought it was all in my head. And then...
But sick how? Low.
I was constantly vomiting, feeling unwell. I just like dragging myself out of the bed every morning. And then I happened to be on a hen party, and I got a sore throat after the hen party. And then as I was feeling the throat, I felt a lump. I was like, what is going on? And long story short, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Yeah, I was 31, and it was pretty aggressive, and my body just didn't react well to it. Thyroid
so you
cancer.
Find the lump and you go in, and you've been dismissed for a while, which so often happens with women's health. Were you angry? Did they tell you immediately? Did you go through a lot of tests? Like, how long was the journey?
So I was actually in Beaumont Hospital for testing for something else. I have a lot of allergies, and they were giving me like a challenge test to find out what I was allergic to. And I'd got a bit of a rapport with the doctor that I was under, and I says, come here, would you have a feel of that? And she says to me, look, if it's still there in 2 weeks, go to your GP again. And I was like, all right, grand. And then I was gone from the hospital about an hour, and she rang me and she said, do you know what? I don't like the feel of that. You need to go see somebody. So my mom is a medical secretary. My mom went into pure mother hen mode. And within like a couple of days, I had a fine needle biopsy. And 2 weeks later, I got a phone call to be told that it's a 2.5 centimetre potential malignant tumour, so I needed to have half my thyroid taken out. So the start of May 2013, I had the first half of my thyroid taken out, and then they realised it was what was called a follicular carcinoma, and the tentacles had like broken out of their seal. So with that, the size of it, and because the tentacles had broken out, the other side had to come out. So I had the second part taken out in the October, and my body just gave up. I suppose I'd been sick for like 18 months. And my body was like, no more. There's 2 operations quite close together, and it just completely like stopped and was like, you need to like slow down. So I stopped working. I was sleeping an awful lot. I was still vomiting an awful lot, and I had to have treatment. So for radioactive iodine, or for thyroid cancer, the treatment is radioactive iodine, but they couldn't do it until my body was right. So that was, my first operation was May, my second operation was October 2013, and my radioactive iodine was February 2014. And I set up, after a couple of days after my second operation, I said, I need a distraction. I'm not somebody who sits easy. And I set up The Beautiful Truth as an actual blog, and I gave myself a job that every day I get up, I do a blog post, I do my photography, I do my social media, and I gave my day purpose.
Yes.
So I felt I wasn't just lying.
Because you weren't teaching at that point.
No, I had to stop.
Were you married? Were you with?
I was with my husband at the time, but we weren't married. That was a bone
so
of
you're with
contention.
each other, with each other on a journey, but like you're going through hell with your health, and you decide The Beautiful Truth is an outlet.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah.
He came up with the name. He's like my biggest supporter. Like, he's so good. Like, don't get me wrong, we have our days. But he's really supportive. And he was like, why don't you just do it? You like beauty, you like writing. So that is what I did. And after treatment, it took a while for my body to get back going. So I was due to go back to work the following September. And I just got myself right, and I kept writing, and it all just kind of took off then.
But what is the hangover of like having thyroid removed or thyroid cancer at such a young age? What is the hangover for the body? Like what was the implications for your body? Did you feel?
Oh, there was so much.
Because thyroid is quite like...
It's like your main kind of gland and everything. So for me, I say it's the cancer that just keeps giving, because there is constantly something new that's popping up with my body. Like, I have a lot of autoimmune stuff now. I have a skin condition that they can't get to the bottom of, but now I'm on monthly kind of immunosuppressant injections to try and stop my skin just exploding in rashes and hives. My hair and my skin, struggle with weight.
God, and if you see her in front of me, and I'm sure you all follow her, she's so, like, I saw you getting into the lift, I was like, what? Her skin, I want her secrets.
But that has
your
been... Your
hair, you're beautiful.
That's been, thank you. It's been something I've had to work on, but it's
and that's
like,
kind of also part of your content.
Yeah, and it ebbs and it flows the whole time.
Okay, so it's not a perfect answer.
Absolutely not. And like everyone, we have our weeks when our skin and our hair looks good, and then I have my weeks where I'm like, oh my God.
Is there a fear it will come back? Do you feel it's been staved off at least long term, like you've had no other repercussions with it?
So for me, I definitely feel I have, the knock-on of being told you have cancer has given me a bit of health anxiety. I think anybody who has been told that or has had a family member...
It can either give you crazy hypochondria health anxiety, or it can make you go, I am never letting myself get sick. Like, some people just go the absolute other direction with it and they get full throttle.
I probably fell somewhere like in between it. Like, it took me a long time to get away from the crazy to, all right, let me take care of myself now, because I had a lot happen in between. And when you're a mom, you're also often way down the pecking order of like priorities. But for me now, I listen to my body. If anything happens, I am like, right, let's go to the GP. And I don't feel like I'm bothering the GP. Like, even to get HRT, like, I'm in my 40s. I was not going to sit there and listen to him go, no, you're not ready yet. I was like, it took me 3 times now. And I went in on the 3rd time. I was like, I'm not leaving without this.
What were your, because it's a good one to chat about. We actually haven't really dug deep on Birdie about that. What were your symptoms that made you ask for HRT? For
me, the main one that was getting to me was the chronic anxiety for 10 days before my period.
You're the 3rd person who's like, it wasn't hot flushes, it wasn't my period stopping. I was actually still sexually active, but I had such bad anxiety.
Oh my God.
And Isn't it funny? We never really knew that in the past.
No.
Like, historically, it was never about anxiety or depression. It was always about your periods will end. You will no longer be fertile. It was all about that kind of stuff.
And you're actually postmenopausal at that point.
Yeah.
Like, women are just, I'm so passionate about female health because I feel that for a lot of it, we are told, oh, it's your hormones, or it's this, or you'd be grand, or you just, and if you think about women, like, historically, they would have been told, oh God, she's lost her nerves a little bit.
Mad.
Yeah. Like, could you blame them? Their hormones were going absolutely insane. But I did have flushes now as well. Horrendous sleep.
What was the anxiety like? Just crippling? It wasn't you. It wasn't who you were.
Oh, definitely not me. And my GP put me on anti-anxiety meds and a really, really high dose of them, to the point where it's taken me a long time to taper back down.
How long ago was that?
That would have been 2013. Or not 2013, 2023. So 2 years, two and a bit years.
You're still very young.
Yeah. But that's it. You can start perimenopause from 35.
Okay.
And I think with having
because you can't test for it, right?
No. And the bloods are not an indicator. They say
so.
Go
It's
by
more
symptoms.
to do with going by your symptoms, how you're. So if people are feeling all of this stuff, even within their relationship or at home, where they're out of sorts more than they aren't out of sorts. It's not just kids are tiring. It's that something's going on in you know?
Absolutely.
So I think we do a lot of that as women, 30s, 40s. Well, it's a busy time, so we're probably just cranky, or work is, or our husband's not as exciting. I don't think it's as simple as that. I think it's definitely a
Like, for me, it's recently I was just walking into a shop, like just a local shop. And I was like, as I walked in, I went, Jeannie, I feel so good. And I realised that I wasn't living, I was exhausted. And I thought that level of exhaustion was...
It's normal.
It's normal, you have kids, you work.
We shouldn't feel like that.
No, I feel better than I have done in
Does
about
HRT
15
help?
years. Oh my God, yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely, it's helped us.
Wow.
I'm sleeping, I've me back again, which is just liberating.
That's incredible. It's good to hear that, because you often hear, I know back in the day, women were also even told not to do it because of cancer fears and stuff. I love that you're saying it's giving you a new lease of life.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel I'm in a new chapter of my life where I am ready to live.
I think 30s
again.
are hard for women. I think 20s are kind of like, we're navigating so much, be it college or relationships. 30s, you're either settling down. And you hit 40, we should have some freedoms, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we work hard enough.
Post-cancer diagnosis and all of your treatments, you told me something there which is quite startling and upsetting. And you're in this relationship. You were told you may or may not conceive?
Yeah, I was told by the radio oncologist that, you know, with your thyroid, it controls your hormones and everything. And I had got 2 LETS procedures done where, my cervix was significantly shortened. And I was told between that and the thyroid and after having radioactive iodine that like I could get pregnant, but it just might not be as easy.
Can you talk to us? 2 LETS procedures is pretty hardcore. So you had SINS, you had HPV and SINS.
I had SINS
when you were younger, or when?
Yeah, in my 20s and early 20s and late 20s.
2 LETS treatments.
Yeah, I'm somebody who seems to attract
I mean, that's
these
pretty
things.
hardcore. I mean, I've been through that and then another level, but like the fact you've had 2 of those treatments are not fun.
No, they're not.
You know?
The first one was done under local anaesthetic and the second one, there was quite a significant amount of cells there that he needed to take away a lot and I was just, no.
And I bet you're a real advocate now for your smear and staying on top of it. I went 10 years without a smear.
Really?
Yeah, I got cut out last year. So I think it's great that you've even just brought that up, because cervical screening, like we've all been a bit scared of that whole system here in Ireland. It let us down. But it's just, I'm such an advocate now for not putting things on the long finger.
Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely hate
it doesn't matter
getting
though,
them
we
done.
have to do it.
But the way I see it is, like, they see this every day of the week. They're not looking to see if you have a wax or whatever.
I know, they do not care.
No, get your legs up, get it over and done.
How often do you do it, Sinead?
I'm now every 3 years.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So you're told you may or may not conceive. So how is that like?
Well, after I was sick, so the February I had my radioactive iodine, we went on holidays in the July and my husband actually proposed to me on holidays. So that was July 14th, 2014. July 3rd, 2015 we got married and July 14th, 2016 I had my first child.
Ah!
Yeah, we didn't think about it.
So you just let loose, you weren't on the pill, you were like...
Yeah. The goalie was taken out of the goal and we'd see what would happen.
But they did say it might be hard.
Yeah, but it was hard the second time. So
so you had your first child, boy or girl?
A boy, Connor, who is now 9.
Wow.
Now he was a very difficult pregnancy because of the 2 LETS procedures. My consultant from my gynecologist had said I would be a candidate for a stitch. So which is a cervical stitch. Mm-hmm. So I decided to go private because of my health conditions and everything. And my consultant was like, look, let's go into theatre and see. And when they went in, they couldn't do a stitch. There wasn't enough there. So I had to have what's called a transabdominal cerclage. So at 12 weeks pregnant, you're basically cut hip to hip. They move the baby aside and they put like an elastic band around what's left of the cervix.
To keep the baby in place.
To keep the baby in place. So stuff can get in, but nothing can get out. It was, I won't lie, it was very difficult. I have been through an awful lot of operations and that one, even the consultant said, you should have been a little bit better than you were. It just, my body didn't take it easy. I suppose it hadn't fully recovered from everything. And then that was 12 weeks and at 16 weeks I had a massive bleed. Part of my placenta came away. So I know it's just one thing after another.
So placenta abruption or placenta, what is that?
It's called partial placental abruption.
Okay, Jesus.
So I was put on bed rest for, but look, I got through it. And
it's like you're kind of given something, you're going to have a kid and you didn't think you would, but we're going to make it really fucking hard. It's like nothing's ever
But I'm definitely somebody that when something happens, I can't let myself get down. I can circle that hole, but I can't fall into it, because if I did,
that's it.
No, I'm over and done with.
You won't make it the same.
Yeah, and I do an awful lot of stuff, and some of it is literally ostrich behaviour, where I'll dig my head in the sand. I'm not dealing with anything, but the head is dug in the sand, and it gets you through. And Connor was born at 38 weeks by C-section.
Was he good?
Yeah, he was perfect. I mean, he's
I'd
the
say
average
you were
9-year-old
very
now.
grateful that pregnancy was over, and that's an awful. You know, we feel bad as women to say, God, that pregnancy. But I've women who come on, they go, I loved being pregnant. I really loved it, and we've women who are like, it's not for me, and it wasn't for me either. So
No.
I hear you.
It's definitely not for me. That's why we are a 2-child family. And Oisin and I had hyperemesis, and I was on crutches. Like, I mean, I should live in a bubble.
Oh my God, hyperemesis is bad enough.
So
how long after Connor did you have Oisin?
So Connor was 2 years and 9 months, but we wanted them really close together. So we did start trying very quickly after, and it just didn't happen.
So what wasn't happening?
Just
not getting pregnant or losing pregnant? Like
just
what?
not getting pregnant. And I was like,
Very
surely
frustrating.
this should, like the doctor said.
And you were young?
I was young. I was doing all the ovulation tests. I was ovulating.
Did you become obsessed?
Obsessed.
Yeah.
Like, I woke my husband up in the middle of the night. I'd go for a wee, and I'd be like peeing a stick, and like, you're ovulating. I'd wake my husband up, and I was like, he's like, Sinead, this has to stop. Like, this has to stop.
It's very hard in a relationship.
Incredibly so.
And men are great, and they're our team players, and we need them, but I don't think they'll ever get how viscerally, how vulnerable we are when we're trying to conceive, and how we become a little bit, you know, we really forget about the relationship, and that's hard. It's hard on the husband in the aftermath, but I think it's just an obsession.
It really is. And I'm very lucky, because I kept telling myself, I have Connor. At the end of the day, I couldn't imagine
if you didn't have a baba.
Or how difficult it is for women that are multiple losses, and then when they get pregnant, the fear of loss again. So it took a while.
How long did it take?
We were a year and a half. Now, that's not a while for most people. But
I know, but I've been there. It's still that year and a half where people are wondering, are you going to? You've spoken about it. You're tired. Your husband and you are killing each other. It's still long in the scheme of things.
And it was actually the month we decided to stop.
Yeah,
and not
same.
do it. When I got pregnant, I moved job, and the first day in a new school, I was like, I don't feel great. And I was like,
Sinead.
Oh God. And I took pregnancy tests. I was like, I'm pregnant.
Were you delighted?
I was thrilled. Obviously not ideal, first day in a new school. But look, things happen for a reason.
And then you were like, I'm done, close shop.
Yeah. Well, life kind of stopped. I was so ill on Oisin. I didn't do a full week when I started that school, and I was gone by 5 months pregnant because I couldn't physically walk. Okay. Oisin at 27 weeks, they thought I was in early labour. It was the day of a nurse strike. I went in, and they told me the gender on my own. I was
just wasn't ideal.
It wasn't ideal. Even when I went to have my C-section, because I can't have a natural birth, I couldn't get the injection done, and I had to be under general anaesthetic. So it was just, pregnancies were not good for me. And then we always thought there would be 3, but when Oisin was 3 weeks old, my dad was diagnosed with a brain cancer, and then COVID happened, and I just went, you know what?
We've had enough trauma.
We've had enough.
We've been through enough. We may not make it now if we keep going.
The universe is telling me something. Be grateful for what I have. I'm in a position that many women would only love to be in. Just stop and give yourself a break.
All of the beautiful truth, and it's a brilliant name now, talking to you, because it's the truth, it's the ugly truth, but it's the beauty of you and who you are as a person and your family. Would you say you're hugely resilient? Like, you think about life and relationship, and then cancer, then you go into pretty shit pregnancies trying to conceive, your father becoming ill and passing away. Would you say you're resilient, or are you just, like you said, ostrich there? Is it that, Rebecca, I really don't face it or think about it? Or do you think you're resilient?
Before, I would have said I'm an ostrich. Now I credit myself for being resilient and strong. I think we don't give ourselves enough credit as women, that if we were to stop and look at what we've come through, and a lot of people might not have gone through what I've gone through, but sometimes it's just all relative. And I think, yeah, I am resilient, and I'm made of strong stuff, and I thank my mum and I thank my dad for that, because I was only saying to my mum at the weekend, my mum was 24 when she was having me, and they were married, and they were very modern. And they pushed us, and they taught us to do things for ourselves.
Be practical.
And keep going.
Yeah.
And I feel that foundation has led me to being stronger now as an adult. But don't get me wrong, I have broken, everybody breaks. But I've given myself the time, and then I've built myself back up again.
You just said there about your boobies.
Yeah.
And we like to talk about all body parts, like the parts that bring us the babies and everything else and sex and menopause. But it's something I didn't know. So you were saying that you 2 years ago were like, I'm going under the knife.
Yeah.
She didn't get massive boobs. She decided to go the other way. Tell me about that,
Little
Sinead.
boobs. My whole life I have had
I can't
big
even
boobs.
imagine with boobs, like massive boobs.
36 double G.
And that is intense.
Yeah, they
because
were
I think
pretty
my
big.
boobs are big and they're like C or like double G for someone petite. If
Yeah.
you met Sinead, she's little.
I'm only 5'2".
Wow,
And
Sinead.
when I was a size 8 at 16, I was an F
So you
cup.
always had massive boobs?
Always. Like I remember at 16, my mom's 40th, and I was dancing, and a man said, like, it's kind of gross when you think about it, well, if she falls, she won't break her nose. Like,
No, it's just
I was like,
horrendous.
that's just rotten.
Was there anything good about it? Like, did you find it gave you confidence? It was sexy, that like it you know, maybe got you into positions that were really positive, or did you always find having big boobs just negative?
There was, listen, I'd be lying, when they were lovely and pert in my 20s, they were great.
Yeah.
But
An asset.
yeah, like I did when I was in my 20s, I loved them. But at the same time, there was always that thing of, oh, I'd love to be able to wear that, or I'd love to be able to do that, because they held me back. But
Do you think so? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And they definitely.
And did everyone always notice them and were
Yeah.
like they were always noticed before your beautiful
Oh,
face?
I was called boobs for years. Like there was always
that's
people
shit.
noticed my boobs. Like it was, you know, there was nights I loved it, but then there was nights when you would get the wrong attention.
The wrong attention, yeah. Sometimes it's great, yeah.
Yeah, but as the older I got, I remember in my kind of mid-20s going to 3 different consultants about breast reductions.
Okay.
And like one guy was like, yeah, I'll do them, no problem. But there was a guy I went to in the Matter Private, and he was like, no, you're too young. He says, you need to have your babies. You need to see.
Do you regret that?
Yes and no, because my boobs did grow when I had babies. Like
It was
a
also
lot.
very expensive too, though, at that time,
It
probably.
was,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, that was my mom is brilliant. My mom was like, if it makes you happy, let's do it.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong, she wasn't constantly buying me things or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, but she said, if
stuff
this is
like
gonna
that.
change your life, yeah.
So if I wanted it, then she would have worked her way to do it for me. But they wouldn't do it, and it was a real like, oh, but what if you want to breastfeed? And I was like, oh. And then you were all in your head going, oh, maybe I do want to breastfeed. Now, turns out when you have thyroid issues, breastfeeding is a lot harder. Nobody ever told me that. And then having no thyroid, sure, I beat myself up when I had Connor and I couldn't breastfeed. But then when Dad died, my mom was like, you need to get your boobs done. Look at the state of them. Like true Irish mommy thing. And
Why? You just didn't look
they
the way
had
you...
dropped. They were huge. Like it was what you saw of me. Even I had lost a considerable amount of weight
So
at
if
that
you wore
point.
a jumper or a dress, or you just didn't look yourself. You didn't look like you anymore.
No, I was wearing the same style constantly because it was all I could wear, and I had back pain. The back pain.
What about your husband? What did he say? Did he care?
Doesn't care. He loves me regardless. He's very like modern in his thinking. He's like, let's do it. If you want to do it, do it. Like it's good for you, and how can I support you? But I booked an appointment. Mum was like, book it. And she came with me. And when I went in, the consultant went, oh, they're very low. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm here.
Yeah, I'm 5'2" and I'm massive boobs.
They were huge.
Yeah.
And I walked out and I was like, yeah, I'll think about it. My mum said, no, book it. And that was November.
she's right.
And January 4th, I was sitting in the waiting room going, oh my God, what am I doing?
So you did it here in Ireland?
Yeah, I did. I went to Bond.
How was that process?
It was fantastic. I
Okay.
mean, of course, it's a lot more expensive.
Okay.
There is ways to cover it under your health insurance,
Okay.
but my BMI, even now, I'd be considered obese.
What?
Yeah, I'm a size 10 and I'd be considered obese.
Why?
Because BMI is so
it's such
outdated.
horseshit. Let's not get
it's
into
a
BMI.
load of rubbish.
Sure, I could be at my fittest and have good muscle mass and be very toned, and my BMI may not hit. And then I don't know. I always think it's about like the jeans you put on or the dress. And if you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a little tight, and you have a bit of squish, I'm like, okay, I need to get myself back. I don't think I can depend solely on the doctors.
No, I don't look at the scales anymore. Now, it's coming from a place where I have lost weight, so it's a bit of a privilege. But I don't worry about sizing. I worry about how I'm feeling
What
in my
size are your
favourite
boobs
pair of
now?
jeans. They are a 36C.
Wow. And yet you're still petite. Like you're not like,
Yeah.
are you delighted you don't want to go less? You don't want to?
No.
No.
It is the best thing
So
I've
when you
ever
woke
done.
up, this is such an interesting one. You have literally the weight of the world on you. And I don't mean that to be facetious, but you have lost the weight of your boobs.
Yeah.
You've shed a lot of things in your life that were holding you back.
Yeah.
You had been sick, you've had your children. I suppose there is a feeling of a weight being taken off you. So when you woke, were you just like...
I felt like, looking back now, I feel those boobs were like my chrysalis falling off. It has changed my life. Now, when I woke up and I looked down and went, oh my God, they're tiny. What have I done? And everything was like, the shape of my body has changed. I was like, oh, because obviously all you saw was boob beforehand. And now it's like, oh my God, this is big and that's big. But when I tell you, it has transformed everything about me. My confidence has grown, how I present myself. Like people are like, oh, they're just boobs. No, only people with big boobs can know the heartache that they can bring, that you can't dress the way you want to, that they're hurting your back, that people see the boobs before they see you. And now I feel like this is just the new part of me, and I am living life to the fullest. Like, I'm loving it.
Like swimsuits, bras, bikinis, dresses, you just feel more like you.
When you can walk into a shop and go, I like that, and not just have to think, will it fit me? Will my boobs be okay? And it's just, I like that. It's
quite
huge.
inspiring for other women who sit on the fence when it comes to, do I push myself into a program to lose weight in 2026, or is it just going to take from my kids' time? Do I do a marathon? Do I actually have it in me? I probably don't. I actually wouldn't be fast enough. I'm not going to reduce my boobs. That's very vain. That'd be putting money into myself. It's narcissistic. I'm not going to go on the trip without my kids, because we are martyrs to the cause in everything that we do. And in a way, you've inspired me. Like you're saying, do the thing that is going to lift all of the crap off your body and change your life. And for the women, okay, you're right, they may not have the financial means, but they can save towards it. They can get help. They can go through a doctor. I wish more women spoke about procedures that they get done. Like even women that come on the pod and have had facial procedures or help. And I'm like, you're beautiful, but you can talk about why you've changed your face or why you've... we get such a hard time for being vain, and it's not about vanity.
Absolutely.
Like for you, it wasn't about like, I'm going to have hot tits. Like it was nothing to do with that.
No.
It wasn't a sexualization of Sinead. It was like, I cannot do this anymore.
No, they literally were dragging me down. And I feel, as I said, that was the start of something. So 24, I was kind of working my way back up. And 25 in January, I said, I am going to say yes to loads of new things. I was like, I'm going to do 25 new things in 2025. And I did.
What did you do?
Oh, I went into the choir, the casual choir. I went rock climbing. I went to the Sahara Desert.
I saw that, amazing.
Yeah, I've done so many things. And I kind of stopped going, oh, let's do 25 things. And I was just like, let's do new things.
Let's just do things,
And like next year I'm going to do a solo trip. I want to do a solo trip for myself. And when you say, oh, it's taken for my kids are my absolute everything. They are, everything I do is for them. The same as most moms. But kids will keep taking. And you cannot pour from an empty cup. And I feel that I am proof that you can do it for the kids, but you can also do it for yourself. And in fact, the kids get an even better version of you.
They benefit from you when you're not cranky and asshole at home. Someone said the other day, kids just are what they are. They're deeply selfish. They don't mean to be, but all they're doing is trying to survive and be resilient. And so they're always going to take from you, and they only care about their world. And like, I'm kind of like, oh, it's true, right? And like, they see if you're upset and they care, they have empathy. But we also need to remember we've got our own little world over here, and when they do start becoming teenagers and in their life is going that way, and our lives are then static. So I would agree with you, like, change your life for yourself.
We only have one life, and it's such a cliche. And all right, when they're very small, it does kind of have to pause a little bit. Like mine are 6 and 9, so I've got a good shot of myself, my time back again. But why should we dampen our life down and not live our one life to the fullest?
And we did that as women for a long time.
We do. And I have had it a number of times where the rug is pulled out from under my feet with life. And you never, and I really mean, you don't know what's around the corner. And it'll hit you and it will take you down. That you need to just be living and be coming at it from a higher place when you fall. And that you have no regrets. Like no regrets.
How is your family life now? How's your relationship and your kids? Like, you just feeling like in a better place in general?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I just feel happy. And it's not like because, all right, yes, I'm doing all these lovely things, but I just feel content. I have shed like other people's opinions of me. I make decisions for myself, my family, and I feel good. My husband's like, we're in a better place for it because, relationships, they go up, they go down.
And you either survive the course or you don't.
Yeah. My kids are reaping the benefits of it. I'm with my mom, doing things with my mom. Like, life is just Good. And long may it last.
Finally, Sinead, talk to me about the Beaut Truth. It's a gorgeous platform. It's great content creation. Like, I was having a good old go. You really are beauty obsessive. Like, I wish I was like you. I was never really into beauty. I mean, I love clothes, but I have a few friends that I work with who are just so into product and stuff. Tell me about what it does for you and what kind of brands you work with, because it's beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I feel it's a community.
Yeah.
Right, yes, I'm doing it and I get the benefits from it, but I really feel it's a page for women to come and have a chat about all things beauty. Like, I work with beauty brands like Look Fantastic. There's an Irish company, The Beauty Basket. I've worked with Aveeno and then Next. Lots of big brands, and I've just, like, every time a brand comes in, I'm like, oh my God, they want to work with me. This is incredible. It has given me such an outlet. In my lowest times, the people that message me will never know how much they've done for me.
Well, you're kind of a good role model. Like, you're kind of a pretty good face fronting for these brands, because, like, you are in person stunning. Your skin is beautiful, but you can also see you've weathered the storms and are just so much better for it. Sinead Kavanagh, thank you so much for coming on and for me getting to find out about you and discover you now, because you've kind of taught me a lot, even just in the last 30, 40 minutes, about resilience and what we can come through. And I hope that you have no more tests thrown at you in the next few years. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if you enjoy Little Birdie Told Me, it means so much to me if you like it, subscribe it, even review it or share it with others. Thank you so much.